Hi, Todd Dunn here on September 24, 2019. Today I'm aboard my 1936 wooden powerboat Tortuga to do another step in winterizing the systems on the boat in preparation for haul out, which is happening in 2 days. So today I'm going to winterize the head, which is a relatively straightforward procedure. So let's get to it. Okay, this is the head. It's a Wilcox Crittenden Skipper 2, which is a hand-pumped marine head. And I have this head plumbed so that the water intake for flushing comes from the drain to the sink, and the seacock there is closed. If I opened the seacock, I could pump salt water in because that drain is below the water line. But what I do instead normally is to use fresh water for flushing, just by running it into the sink like I'm doing here. And what I'm going to do today, before we winterize the head, is I'm going to pump a good deal of fresh water through the head to flush out everything that might be in the hoses and everything. So I'm going to pump several gallons of fresh water through the head. So I'm just fill the sink up here, and there we go. Now I just put my foot on the flush and it'll let water drain in. And start pumping. And basically this is just using fresh water to pump through the hoses and get everything rinsed out. The blue color is because we use a head odor chemical to cut down on head odors, and we just pour that in the sink right here. So I'm going to fill the sink up again and do this 3 or 4 times, or maybe even 5 times, to rinse everything out. So at this point you don't need to watch me going through this procedure over and over again, so I'll stop recording for a little bit. Before I move on to the next step, I thought I'd explain how the head works. When you flush the head, it pumps whatever was in the head up this hose through here and around into the top of the holding tank. When we get ready to pump the holding tank out, we set this valve to pump out, which is this side, and this tube has a pickup tube that goes all the way down to within about a ½ inch of the bottom of the holding tank. And so when you pump with the pump out system, sucks everything out of the tank through here and up to the deck clean out. If we're offshore, we can switch the valve to here and pump things over the side by working this pump here. This hand pump, which pulls stuff out of the holding tank and puts it down through a through hole, which is down there, and you can't really see it. So that's the way the system works. And what I'm going to do is pump a bunch more water through, and we will watch it right here to see what the water looks like as it's going through, to get an idea of how clean the hoses going up there are, because I've got about a 3-foot rise in the hose, which tends to be filled with stuff, and I'd like to get rid of it. There are 2 places we can look, right here in this elbow and up here at the top of the tank. So first we'll take a look at the elbow. Let some water in here. And you can see there's still some color there, and you can't really see it there. But what I'd like to do is pump until I don't see any color here. Right now my holding tank, which isn't very big, is about half full. The level is right there. So this shouldn't take too much longer. Another 2 or 3 goes, get the holding tank reasonably full. Then I will take the boat over to the local pump out and we will pump the holding tank out. There we go. And let's see what we have here. I think we're pretty much getting that cleaned out. That's about the max there. I'll maybe do it 2 more times and we'll be set. And basically I'll just be watching this for hopefully clear water going through. Alright, I'm back from pumping the holding tank out, and I've got the antifreeze we're going to use to winterize the head. This is a polypropylene glycol. Antifreeze is supposedly good to -50, which we'll never get that cold here. So what we're going to do is just pump this through the head. The antifreeze protection is to keep the metal parts of the head itself from freezing. The tank is a plastic tank and it's not really an issue if the contents of it freeze. So basically I'm going to do this just like I did with the water. I'm just going to pump down on here and we'll pump this through. And this will go through and into the empty holding tank. I'll put a little more in. I usually use a whole gallon because these marine heads can be very expensive and you don't want them to freeze up on you. Pour the rest in there. So here we go. Just pump that through. Okay, so what I've done now is pump that through the head, up through the hose, and into the holding tank, 1 gallon. The holding tank was empty, or as empty as you can get it by pumping it out. So that's winterize. That's all there is to it. Okay, so now that the head is winterized, all that I have left to do before haul out is to drain the freshwater tank and winterize the water system, which I will make another video about tomorrow when I do it. It's fairly straightforward. The head itself is very easy to winterize, particularly because of the way I have mine plumbed using a freshwater flush, which is done to cut down on smell. If you use salt water, you get a lot more head smell than you do with fresh water, and it isn't that much water usually. So anyway, maybe I should go over the cost. Altogether, to flush fresh water through the head and rinse it out with fresh water and get a good deal of fresh water in with the contents of the holding tank, pump out the holding tank, and then pump a gallon of non-toxic polypropylene -50 antifreeze through the head cost me $4.19 plus tax, so that'd be another 25 cents, so about $4.50, let's say. And no charge for the pump out, and other than I maybe burned a few ounces of diesel to go the 100 yards over to the pump out station and back. But other than that, it was very inexpensive and didn't take much time. Now I could have hired the boat yard to do it, and they typically charge to do both the water system and the head about $200. Now, as you'll see in tomorrow's video, winterizing the water system is a little bit more involved, but not a lot. And I'm certainly only going to have about $10 invested in winterizing the water system and the head, so I won't be spending much money on that at all. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this little boat maintenance video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so you'll get a notification of when my next exciting boating or other Maine coast oriented video is posted. Thanks for watching.